Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Andra Brosh, and this is where we explore the intersection of psychology, astrology, depth psychology, tarot, and our collective healing. Today we're diving into Aquarius season, and I want to challenge something that might be keeping you stuck, small, and honestly pretty lonely. Because here's the truth that Aquarius season wants us to remember. You're not meant to be a lone star. You're part of a constellation. So let's talk about what that really means. Aquarius brings us the archetype of the rebel, the innovator, the one who breaks the mold. This is the sign that dares to do things differently, to question what is, and imagine what could be. And I love that about Aquarius energy. We need those rebels. We need the ones willing to challenge the status quo and envision something better. But here's where it gets interesting. Aquarius isn't just about individual rebellion. It's the sign of the water bearer, the one who carries water to nourish the collective. It's about humanitarian vision, community, and recognizing that we're all interconnected. So if you've been feeling the pressure to be this lone genius, this solo superstar doing everything on your own, Aquarius season is here to show you a different way. Aquarius season brings us the idea of emergence, or what I like to call emergence. So if you think about it, we've been in the depths of winter. We've been doing the inner work, the shadow work, the quiet excavation. Maybe you've done the deep work of looking at your patterns, your wounds, your gifts that have been deeply hidden for a long time. We have all been germinating in the soil like seeds, waiting for the right moment. And that moment is approaching, and it's time to start the process of dusting off what we have excavated during our winter archaeological dig. Now it's time to bring all of this into the light. But here's the key. You don't have to do it alone. In fact, you're really not meant to. Here's something I want you to really sit with. Your liberation is tied to collective liberation. Your unconscious, it's tied to the collective unconscious. We're not separate beings operating in isolation. We're nodes in a network, stars in a constellation, individual expressions of a much larger whole. This means that we rise together, we heal together, we grow together, and that we're all deeply connected. And I know that can feel challenging, especially in a culture that tells us the opposite. We're constantly fed this narrative of the self-made person, the lone genius, the individual who pulls themselves up by their bootstraps and does it all on their own. But think about every person you admire, every movement that's created real change, every innovation that's transformed the world. None of them have happened in isolation. None of them. The pressure to be your own superstar can actually keep you small and lonely. Because when you're trying to do everything yourself, when you're convinced you have to figure it all out alone, you cut yourself off from the very resources, support, and collaboration that would allow you to truly shine. So here's the question I want to leave you with. What if being a superstar means shining your light with others, not above them? What if your gifts are meant to be shared and not hoarded? What if your breakthrough is connected to someone else's breakthrough? What if the thing you've been struggling with alone could be transformed through community, through collaboration, through recognizing that you're part of something bigger? This is your Aquarius invitation. Step out of isolation and into collaboration. Share your gifts with your community. And remember, you shine brightest when connected to your constellation. The treasures you've excavated this winter, they're not just for you. They're for all of us. Your healing contributes to collective healing. Your liberation opens doors for collective liberation. And yes, this requires vulnerability. It requires letting people in. It requires trusting that you don't have to have it all figured out before you show up. But that's the work of Aquarius season. That's the invitation. So if this resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. What are you emerging with? What treasures have you unearthed? How are you stepping out of isolation and into collaboration? And if you want to go deeper with this work, I've got a couple things for you. First, you can sign up for my newsletter where I send personal invites, new blog posts, and reflections straight to your inbox. The link is in the description below and on the screen right now. And second, if you're really ready to dive deep and be part of a community that's doing this work together, come join Psyche School. It's my new online community where we explore these themes, support each other's growth, and remember that we're part of the same constellation. Links for both are in the description. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, you're not alone. You're part of something beautiful and interconnected. I'll see you in the next one.